feeling well, man. I just wanted to come back with another live to drop some words of truth, inspiration, wisdom, knowledge, and a little bit of understanding to go with it. Today's topic will be talking about true freedom comes with sacrifice. In order to gain some kind of level of real freedom, you got to be willing to sacrifice something. You got to be willing to get rid of something or give something up. We all been programmed to live a particular lifestyle, to live a certain kind of way. We all been brainwashed to do things a certain kind of way. And the moment we go against what we've been taught growing up of the things we should do, how we should look, where we should live, how we should dress, soon as we go against the programming, people will begin to call you weird because you're not fitting into the belief system that everybody picked up and was programmed and brainwashed with, from childhood. And I'm telling you right now, you got to make sacrifices if you want to experience real freedom. And we're going to talk about, what real freedom is, how to identify it, what comes with it. You feel what I'm talking about? How to maintain it and how to associate yourself with others who's on the path of freedom that you on. And so we're going to take a deep dive into today's discussion and topic. And I appreciate everybody tuning on in. If y'all could put ones in the chat as y'all enter on in, make sure y'all put a 1 in the chat so I know y'all can hear me and see me correctly. Put a 1 in the chat so I know you can hear me and see me correctly. Appreciate everybody tuning on in though, man. Real talk. It's all love, straight up. And we want to talk about freedom. We want to talk about how we didn't ask for none of this shit. Y'all notice how we just doing shit that we didn't even ask for? Y'all notice how we just doing shit in life that God didn't even tell us to do? But because we've been brainwashed and we've been programmed to think that this how we should live, we have accepted a life, or we have accepted a narrative of living a particular lifestyle that's not even, that we don't even want to live. We have accepted another man's reality, and we just living and existing in another man's reality. And a lot of people really truly don't know who they is. A lot of people really truly don't even know who they is like that, man. And it's sad because, if you ask people about what they really want out of life, they gonna give you some shit that they was taught that they should have. That's best for them to have, or best for them to try to accomplish. But only few people really know who they really is and what they really want out of life. We have been brainwashed to a fault, man. And I'm telling you right now, we live in another man's reality. Whether you believe it or not, when you wake up every day and you put on your clothes and you brush your teeth and you get something to eat and you get ready to go to work and punch that clock, that's not your calling. That's not who God called you to be. God did not call you to go fucking punch no clock to go to work. We live in another man's reality. And I'm telling you, bruh, that shit got us bound. It got us mentally in bondage. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working the job. I'm not saying that for my people that got to work. No disrespect. But I'm just saying, we live in a complete different lifestyle from what God told us to live, and completely different lifestyle. And the things that we associate ourselves with freedom, or the things that we think or we deem is freedom, is really not freedom. It's artificial. Hold up. It's artificial. It's artificial success. It's artificial freedom. But you're not really seeing real freedom or success. You getting an artificial version of what freedom and success is by another man. And we're gonna be talking about it today. We're gonna really dive deep on this topic and discussion today. RC say oh, this is a real one right here. What a topic. Yeah, you already know, RC. I see you in this thing bright and early, my brother. Welcome to the live. RC say, how you feeling, brother? True blessings to you and the family. Man, I'm feeling good, man. Thanks for asking, brother. Likewise, man. I'm feeling good. Welcome back to the live, RC. Joshua in this thing say, happy Sabbath, bro. Likewise, same to you, man. Yes, indeed. We got Tavon in this thing. We got JD in this thing. We got, okay, Tavon say, what's up, bro? What's good with you, Tavon? I'm good, man. Just coming back with another live, trying to, just spread some more light on this topic about freedom and how we misconstrue artificial freedom with real freedom, and how we living under the guidelines of what another man told us that freedom is, when it really ain't freedom, but we think it's freedom. And we're going to be talking about it today. Marshlow in this thing say, what's up, dude? What's good with you, Marshlow? I see you in this thing. RC say, exactly. It's like slavery. Bro, we listen. You a slave until you learn how to take back your power. When you learn how to navigate throughout this system and this society, then you become free. When you learn how to navigate throughout this system, in this matrix, then you become free. But if you just simply following the ways of, how another man set up this reality in this society, you is a slave. If you don't have no, comprehension skills, or if you don't have no thinking skills to where you able to follow what's destined for you, or you able to follow or be open-minded and follow what you feel like you know that's right, what's best for you, and you just always simply following this game that another man created, man, you is never going to be free. That's why it's important to think outside the box. It's important to know thyself. It's important to understand and realize, man, you can't be following every little thing that another man told you should have or you shouldn't have. You should do or you shouldn't do. Where you should live, where you shouldn't live. You got to have a mindset of your own. You got to have a mind of your own, man. Not saying you can't, communicate or operate within this system, but you have to have a mind of your own to be set apart. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm telling you right now, a lot of people think they free when they really not free. And for the most part, a lot of us still is being affected by the matrix in some kind of way, whether we want to believe it or not, because a lot is tied into this matrix. Our money, our family, resources, our careers, our jobs, how we pay our bills. A lot of this shit is tied into this matrix. And so we all still get affected from time to time, by this system. But how you free yourself is by becoming an independent thinker. That's how you free yourself out this shit. You got to know what's going on. You can't be the one that just A motherfucker tell you anything and you just follow suit and you believe it. You got to be willing to stand on your own. You got to be willing to make sacrifices. You got to be willing to follow what's in your heart. You can't just go alone and try to be an abiding citizen of this reality that was given to us by another man, because I'm going to tell you like this, and I'm going to keep it real with you. This is another man's dream that we live in. We is not fulfilling our obligations to the Most High. We fulfilling our obligations to another man's belief of how we should be living, and they giving us a sense of artificial freedom and artificial success. And we buying into it. We buying into it. And it's people out here bragging about it. And they don't have no clue that you have been mentally enslaved. You mentally in bondage and you don't even know it. In fact, people will fight you for not going along with this system like them. The reason why people will fight you once they see you rebel against this system, because their entire identity is tied in this system. It's tied into this system. Their entire belief, their entire truth on what they stand on is tied into this system. And so the moment you challenge the system, you challenge their belief, you challenge their identity. You feel what I'm saying? And we want to differentiate what's real freedom and what's artificial freedom. You dig what I'm talking about? Because this shit ain't freedom, y'all. This going to work, paying bills every 30 days, you know, you might go out every now and then to go and eat at your favorite restaurant, and then you got to wake up and do it all over again, and you got to go to work and pay bills, and then you got to wake up and do it all over again, and you're not able to really travel outside of the country, or you're not really able to travel without having a driver's license, or you're not really able to travel without having no documentation. That ain't freedom. That ain't freedom. That's artificial freedom. And we're going to talk about the workings of the artificial way of thinking that you have freedom when really you still trapped and you in bondage. It's a lot of rich people that's still entrapped. They still entrapped. They still in bondage. They still slaves. But the artificial way of freedom is owning more to think that you become freer. But the real way of freedom is owning less and not having the stresses to play this game. See, once you depart from the game, once you depart from this reality by way of thinking and your mentality, then you set a path ahead of yourself to allow yourself to become free from this system. But as long as you keep accumulating things and buying things and purchasing different things, you become deeper, deeper, and deeper into the trap that they call the Matrix. And you will never realize it and understand it until it's too late. Until you realize that, damn, I already got 10 cars. How many more cars do I need to feel happy? Until you realize, like, damn, I got 50 different properties. How many more properties do I need to feel some kind of fulfillment? See, these things give you temporary joy. But these things don't buy you freedom. And see, once I understood this, I had to understand that they reverse psychology on us, and they got us buying and purchasing things to entrap ourselves deeper into the system. But what we really don't realize is that this not freedom. This not the way of freedom that they told us. You got to get rich. That's not the way. The way is to do away with all this shit. To not even buy into none of this game. That's how you obtain real freedom. When you back down from the game and you say, you know what? I want to own less and less and less. I don't want to own more, more, and more. I want to own less, less, and less as I possibly can. because you got to understand the great psychological bondage they put on you when they got you out here just purchasing and buying and spending and purchasing and buying and spending, waking up, going to work, waking up, going to work, can't take no vacations, can't really get out, can't really live your life. That's slavery. That's bondage. But it feel like freedom because that paycheck give you that dopamine. It give you that rush. It make you feel like, oh man, I got paid today, man. Shit, I got paid. Shit, $1,200, man. Yeah. But you don't understand. That's just money. Your time is way more valuable than money. So they got you, they breaking you down every day, making you go to work for some money to pay your bills. And then once you go to work and you get that paycheck and you pay your bills, they got you thinking that you doing the right thing when the whole time you living backwards. And this is not to say that there's anything wrong with going to work and paying your bills. This is not to say there's anything wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is this is not freedom. This is artificial freedom, and they tied it up in a way and they made it in a way to where they know if they get you to buy into this shit and to believe in this shit, they know they got you for life. But they understand that this is not true freedom. This is not what the Most High told us to do. And this is not how God told us we should be living. We shouldn't be paying no bills. We shouldn't be going to work every day to pay bills every 30 days. We shouldn't be worrying about how to pay for food. We shouldn't even be worrying about having documents to be able to travel around the world. Why do I need a passport to go to Europe? Why do I need a passport to go to Mexico? Why do I need a passport to go to Africa? This is not freedom. This is artificial freedom. And the setup is you have to follow the guidelines. You have to follow the rules and regulations of the matrix to experience artificial freedom. And as long as you follow the rules and regulations of the matrix, they'll give you a little leadway. They'll give you a little breathing room to make you feel like you free. But the whole time they know you really still a slave and you in bondage. Because they know the only freedom that you really have is when you go within and you do without all this shit. That's why they try to keep you spending money. That's why they try to keep you working. That's why they try to keep you in a state of wanting more. Because when you want more, it comes with the mentality of you being tied down to payments. But when you exclude yourself from this reality, they know you got this system beat once you figure that shit out. And yeah, it's going to come with a ton of sacrifices, unfamiliar territory, challenges. But they know if you ever get to the point to where you can do without all this shit and you can learn how to manage to live on your own without all this shit, they know you got them beat. And these is the people they really worried about. They worried about the people that's waking up, that's not wanting to pay bills no more. They worried about the people that's waking up that's saying, what the fuck is I'm doing with 5 or 6 cars? And all it's doing is causing me a payment. They worried about the people that don't want to go to work no more. They worried about the people that don't want to go to school and get their fake ass education and they fake ass degrees. These the people they worried about. Because when you start to exclude yourself out of this reality that they giving us, then they know that God is going to begin to give you downloads and you're going to start living according to the purpose that God told you to live with and how God told you to live. That's why they put on the back of the dollar bill, "In God we trust." They wasn't talking about the Most High God. They was talking about them in the entities that they follow after. That's the God that they was talking about. A lot of people look at the government. A lot of people look at the elites. A lot of people look at the lawmakers, the people that make up the laws. A lot of people look at these people like gods. They look at these people like gods because they the ones that hold the power to all the resources. They the ones that hold the power to life and death. They the ones that hold the power to whether you starve or eat. And so when they say on the back of that dollar bill, "In God we trust," it ain't talking about the Most High God. It's talking about them because they is your God, because they made up this reality. They entrapped you into this matrix and got you believing that this is how we supposed to be living. When in actuality, this is not how we supposed to be living. They got you arguing with somebody else about how big your house is and how small their house is, how fast their car is and how small your car. They got you arguing about this dumbass shit because they know they got you in the mind. And the moment you break away mentally and spiritually, they know they can't do nothing with you. They call you an outcast. They call you a threat. And it sounds strange. It sounds very strange. It sounds very strange when you think about it. It really makes no sense to be living the way we living. It makes no sense. And so the fear of most people breaking away from this system is them not knowing how to function or how to do without the resources that's tied into this system. That's why most people fear the change, or they fear being free on their own. Even though it's a lot of people know that they not free. They had never really crossed that barrier. They had never really crossed that line to figure out how to live on their own because they already been brainwashed and programmed by a system that makes them feel comfortable with living a particular lifestyle. So most people never will rebel. Most people will never fight back against this reality because they already set in their ways and they already have been comfortable or have been, programmed to believe that this is how they should live. Really, but it's the total opposite. And I'm starting to feel it, and I'm starting to really understand and identify what being rich is all about. But let me see who in the chat real quick. Man, it's a sad situation. I feel for us, man, because we have been programmed, and we ain't nothing but cattle to these people. We ain't nothing but a number. That's all we is a number in the system. We ain't nothing but cattle. But in the eyes of God, we precious. In the eyes of the Most High, we special. In the eyes of the Most High, we have a particular power that most people would never realize or understand that lies within them. Because we have been broadcast all this media. We have been broadcast all this entertainment. We have been broadcast all these different forms of way of living. And we completely disregarded how we really should be living by God's standard. And we have been conned, duped, led astray, manipulated. And we on social media arguing with each other about another man's game. Imagine that shit, y'all. Imagine that shit. We on social media arguing with each other about another man's reality, about the game that another man made up, not God made up. And we always blaming God for this shit that God ain't got nothing to do with. The Most High ain't got nothing to do with this. The Most High say replenish the earth. Have dominion of the earth. Be fruitful and multiply the earth. The Most High ain't never told you to pay no bills. The Most High ain't never told you to go to work for no different corporations. The Most High ain't never told you that you have to go sign documents in order to get married. The Most High ain't never told you no shit like this. When you really break it down and you really understand what this stuff is all about, you begin to question yourself, damn, will people ever understand what freedom really is? And when they do understand it, is they gonna ever do something about it? Do people got the balls to rebel against this false reality, this fictitious system that was given to us and created by another man? Will people ever break loose out of this shit? Will we ever break loose out of this shit? How many more signs do we need by God to keep telling us this is not the way I want you to live? God is keep giving us signs after signs that let us know you living under another man's jurisdiction system. You living under another man's authority. You living under another man's reality. Ain't got nothing to do with that shit. So when your lights get cut off, don't blame me. Because I gave your ass a consciousness, I gave you a mind, I gave you strength, and I gave you spiritual truth. The ability to have a conscience to fight against this shit. But you don't want to fight against this shit. You want to go with it. You want to play like ain't nothing wrong until they cut your fucking lights off. You want to play like ain't nothing wrong until they take your paycheck. You want to play like ain't nothing wrong until they kick you out your house. You want to play like ain't nothing wrong until they repo your vehicle. You want to play like ain't nothing wrong until they separate you and your spouse and give your wife half of your earnings and take your kids. But God is talking and letting us know who gonna stand up. Is everybody gonna be cowards? Oh, I got a family. I said, who gonna stand up? Is anybody gonna be cowards? Everybody gonna be cowards? Oh, I got bills to pay. Who gonna stand up? Is everybody gonna be cowards? Oh, I gotta go to work. That ain't what God said. God don't care about you having a family. You got bills to pay and you gotta go to work. God said, who gonna stand up? Is everybody gonna be cowards? I gave you power. I gave you, you got me. You got spiritual resources you ain't even fucking using. Because you too blinded and programmed by this false reality and this way of living, you comfortable. It didn't have it. We had failed so low. We is so low right now. We have got comfortable with living like this. We don't even want to fight this shit no more. We have got comfortable with this shit now. We think this shit is cool. We think this shit is the shit. And the moment somebody come along and try to challenge this stuff and rebel against it, everybody look at that person like he's weird or she's crazy or he or she is losing their fucking mind when really they the ones that's telling the truth. They the ones teaching you how to break out of this shit. It's just, is you really willing to make a sacrifice, to give something up or do without, to gain some kind of liberty or real freedom? Or do you want to just tie yourself to this shit for the rest of your life? And then you pass it on to your kids. And then they tie themselves to this shit for the rest of their life. And then they pass it on to their kids. And then they tie this shit to the... It keeps going on and on and on and on. And we passing down bondage. And we don't even know it. Imagine that shit. We passing down bondage to our kids, to our descendants, and we don't even know it. We can't even realize it because this system has, it bound us, it trapped us into thinking about any possibilities outside of its guidelines. And we just passing it down to generation after generation after generation. In fact, we'll get angry at our children. We will mistreat our children if they don't go along with this shit. Your kid can teach you a lot if you learn to shut your fucking mouth and listen to your children sometimes. They can teach you a lot. Sometimes your kids come out, or your nieces or nephews, or your little brothers and sisters. They come out with the understanding of realizing that they don't want to be a part of none of this shit. But what you do, you pass that fear right on down to them because you was programmed to believe that life is supposed to look a particular way. And you pass down the fear, the way of living, the lifestyle, and the laws, statutes, and commandments that was given to you by another man, and you pass it right on down to your kids. And then your kids get brainwashed with this program, and they grow up under the same matrix or false system that you grew up under. And the cycle continues. And it continues. And it continues. And it continues. And it's like, who is going to break this shit? What generation is going to break it? Now, y'all might be sitting up here asking me, well, damn, True, what do? We got to fight our way out this shit. Just like we try to prevent this shit from happening. Our ancestors died because they knew this shit was going to happen. They knew this shit was going to fucking happen. They died to swords, to gun wounds. They died because they didn't want this shit to happen to us. They knew if we lose this war, something very catastrophic can happen to our descendants. They would never experience true freedom. And this is why our ancestors stood up and died in cold blood trying to prevent this shit from happening. Now we in this shit. And it's only one or two ways out this shit. The first way, we got to fight our way out this shit. Just as well as we try to fight our way to prevent this shit, we got to fight our way out this shit. The second way we get out of this shit and experience true freedom, we got to learn how to make sacrifices, tell ourselves, our families, our children, this ain't the way. This ain't the way. Yeah, I know it don't feel right. Yeah, I know it ain't funny. Yeah, I know it ain't comfortable. Yeah, I know it don't make no sense. But true freedom, don't come with comfortability. It don't come with being comfortable. True freedom come with sacrifice. It come with unfamiliar territory. And I'm telling you right now, we live in another man's reality and we don't even know it. So yeah. Hope you feel it. Hope you feel it. I pray to God you feel it. I pray to God this message cut your ass like a sword, like a two-edged. Man, I pray it cut you. Because we tired. Our elders is tired. The kids saying they tired. You think they ain't tired because they kids? The middle-aged adults is tired. What the fuck we gonna do about this shit? We could talk all day till we blue in the face. It's time to come up with some solutions around this motherfucker. We can't live like this. We can't pass this shit down to the next 2 or 3 generations. We can't. Malcolm X did all they could. Martin Luther King did all he could. Rosa Parks did all she could to prevent this shit from spiraling into where we at now. What the fuck is we gonna do about this shit? This ain't freedom. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. I don't care how many business properties you own. I don't care how many cars you drive. I don't care how many passports you got. How many stamps you got in your passport book. This ain't freedom. And we know it. We know it. But most people is cowards. They ain't gonna speak up and they ain't gonna take no precautionary steps to do shit about it. Because they scared. They don't have that warrior mentality and spirit like our ancestors did. So what they do, they either tuck tail and run overseas and bow the fuck down and get out the way, or they play like ain't nothing going on. Because they scared. But if you like me, I'm willing to die for this shit. Because I know if I don't see the change, at least I want my son and my grandkids to see the change. See, a lot of our ancestors knew they wasn't going to live to see the change, but they knew one day it was a possibility that their grandkids and their grandkids was going to live to see the change of freedom, rebellion, buying out. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of this shit. And I promise you, if we learn how to stick together and come a union, you will be amazed. You wouldn't even realize how quick God will begin to work on our behalf in ways you can never imagine. But the thing is, are you comfortable with this shit? Do you really want freedom? Not just for yourself. Stop always thinking about yourself. Think about your little brother. Think about your little sister. Think about your niece and nephew. Think about your daughter, your son. Think about the next generation. That's what I can't stand about this generation. This generation too fucking selfish. This generation always thinking about this generation. This generation of people always thinking about themselves. They never thinking about the future generation, our descendants. Nigga, you ain't gonna live forever. You better stop thinking about yourself. Sus, bro, you ain't gonna live forever. You only probably got 50 to 60 to 70 more years and your ass is in the grave. Your ass is in the grave, nigga. Start thinking about the next generation. We got to do something about this shit. We can't be around here signing documents, stating that we married. Fuck all that. If you my woman, you my woman. I don't need no court system to tell us how much our love mean to each other. But this generation is so selfish. We never think about 2 or 3 generations from now. And we don't understand that they either gonna benefit or they gonna either be bound by the same construct and programming we is under today. And all I see when I see the ancestors, I dream about the ancestors. The ancestors always coming to me. When I see old stories about the ancestors, all I see is a people who loved us and did everything in their power to give us a better future. They did everything in their power to fight for what's right. They didn't give a fuck about all the bells and whistles and the rainbows and flowers and them having all the latest shit. They said, you know what? We gonna be okay, but we really want to make sure our descendants live a better lifestyle than us, have it a little bit better than us. We gotta be the trailblazers. We gotta be the ones that paved the way. And they did that. And ain't nobody taking on the challenge. They passed the baton to us. Now it's our turn. What the fuck is we gonna do? Huh? What the fuck is we gonna do? Make TikTok videos all day? Dance challenges? What the fuck is we gonna do? And we never think about our descendants like our ancestors thought about us. We never think about them because this generation is too fucking selfish. We argue all day long about the things that we was programmed to believe that is important. We argue all day long about the things we was programmed to believe that was important. But don't nobody sit down and say, man, listen, I'm gonna die one day. Oh shit, I only got 50, 60 years to live. I'm gonna die one day. How do I want my kids to live? How do I want my grandkids and their grandkids to live? Don't nobody sit down and think about that? And you will begin to understand and realize more than often or more than not, most people don't even think about that. It don't even cross their fucking mind. Because they too busy worried about things that they have been programmed to believe that's important that don't mean a motherfucking thing. And God looking at us like, man, my people have been destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Look at them, man. They can be way better than what they is. They can do more. If they would learn to stick together, if they would learn to understand their power, but they rather forfeit divine power to subject themselves under another man's reality. That shit right there, it hurt when you think about that shit. Because God ain't never did nothing to us but looked out for us. That's all the Most High ever did was look out for us. But we don't even like to look out for ourselves because we don't care. I'm a victim of this shit too. I'm a victim of this shit too. But I don't want to play this game no more. I'm a victim just as well as anybody else walking the face of this earth. I'm not innocent in this shit, but I understand that it's time to wake up. It's time to stop bullshitting. And it's a sad situation because God gave us everything for free. And they put a dollar sign behind everything. And God's saying, y'all gonna let them do this? I'm still fighting for y'all. But damn, I gotta at least know that y'all want to fight for yourself. I gotta at least know that y'all willing to fight for yourself. I gotta at least know y'all willing to fight for what's right. How I'm gonna keep fighting for y'all is God, and y'all don't even want to fight for yourself. In fact, y'all love this bondage that y'all been in for millennial now. Y'all love it. Y'all fight over it. Y'all argue over it. Y'all kill each other over it. Y'all talk down on each other over it. And me as God, I'm trying to fight y'all and help y'all out of this, but y'all keep telling me by y'all actions, y'all cool with where y'all at. Y'all keep telling me by y'all actions, y'all don't want to be free. You cool with this. And God's saying, man, you can have so much more. It's so much more you and your descendants can have. It's so much more I bless y'all with. But y'all don't understand. Y'all arguing over crumbs. Y'all fighting over crumbs. So, this shit is starting to really hit a lot of people. I've been in talks with a lot of people. I've been tuning in to a lot of people and hearing what people got to say. And people is tired. No matter how much sleep you get, no matter how many vacations you take, you still end up tired. No matter how much sleep you get, no matter how many vacations you take, you still feel tired because you're not supposed to be living like this. This going against Mother Nature, this going against divine nature or divine cosmic law, and this going against your nature as gods and goddesses. Because we have fallen so low to the point to where we just abide by anything. We don't question it. We don't try to take no stand to react to it. We don't try to fight it back. Nothing. We just go along with it. Because they got a thing called a military who got weaponry that most people fear. But we got a thing that's called God that'll wipe this shit out if we was all to align on the same frequency and raise our vibration. God won't let nothing touch us. In fact, the Most High would destroy anything that come near us. But the Most High is looking at our actions, and our actions is telling God, we don't want to be free and we don't want to have nothing to do with you. And if you saying I'm lying, you can go to hell because you know that's what it is. See, this channel was about, this shit is about real shit. We don't sugarcoat and play them little bitty games. We ain't got time to point the finger that woo 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 and that and that. We hold ourselves accountable. Most people in this life, in this generation, don't want to have nothing to do with God, don't want to have nothing to do with true spirituality, don't want to have nothing to do with righteousness, and don't want to have nothing to do with aligning themselves to true freedom. So they go their whole life lying to themselves, talking about they free when they know they not free worth a motherfucking thing. Straight up. And I'm telling you right now, if we don't learn how to understand to fight back mentally, spiritually, and possibly physically, this shit ain't gonna get no better. It ain't gonna get no better. We can be so much more in the eyes of God. Hell, we can be so much more within ourselves. We can have so much more. We can do so much more. But we have limited the access to our true potential because we have fallen asleep and we comfortable with being in bondage. It goes back to that quote that Harriet Tubman made when she said, I freed a lot of slaves, but I could have freed so many more slaves if they would have knew they were slaves. See, I'm talking about real freedom. I ain't talking about none of that artificial shit they give you because you think you done bought a couple properties that you still got to pay property taxes on. You think you done bought a couple cars that you still got to pay registrations on. I ain't talking about none of that artificial shit. I'm talking about real liberty. The majority always punked out. It always been the minority of the few people to be trailblazers for everybody else. But the majority of the people gonna look at you crazy when you talking like I'm talking because they not gonna understand that the programming that they have been positioned to be under is working against them every day. It's working against them every day. It's working against them. It's working against their health. It's working against their family. It's working against their belief. And it's working against their connection to the Most High. Let me see who in here real quick. It look like it's a lot of people in here. We got a full house. I don't even know where to start. But I appreciate everybody being in attendance. I really do. Kay say, okay, let me go back up real quick. All working this thing say speak. Marshall say agreed. Like Lupe Fiasco said. Well, freedom isn't free, especially around my way. Yeah. And we wonder why we steal and take from each other. And the thing we stealing and taking from each other, God will multiply that if we learn how to stick together. We would never have to steal nothing. If we learn how to stick together, everything was given to us by free. Everything was given to us free. The only thing that told you this shit cost is another man. Another man told you in order to live, it costs. God didn't tell you that. God ain't never told you it costs to live. Never. And so, if you a person like me, like the ancestors, once you begin to understand this level of thinking and what true freedom is really all about, you become a trailblazer. You become a person that lead by example. You don't just be a person that talk the talk, you also walk the walk. Straight up. All work say talk. RC say facts. Marshall say agree, less and more. Deani King in this thing say truth. K say preach. Young Reek say if I do ever work a job again, it only be 3 days out the week. That's all I can take. I make the rest of my bread on my free time. I respect that, Young Reek. Real talk. Empress Mercedes said, glad you hopped on here. I appreciate you doing this and sharing your energy. We need this energy more than ever in this current time. I agree. And see, we dealing with a lot of shift and change in our current reality. Ain't no more playing the in-between shit. Either you on the side of God or you on the side of the enemy. Pick a side. Because it ain't no more that in-between shit. That in-between shit gonna get you knocked off. It's gonna get you unalived. Pick a side. Straight up. Deani King say they need us sleep. They gotta sleep. They don't need to sleep. They gotta sleep. And they doing a good job at maintaining, or they doing a good job at keeping us sleep. But I promise you, before I die, I'm going to wake up millions. That's one of my main objectives and agendas, is to wake up as many people as possible and bring as many as people as I could back into this truth as possible. Straight up. K say, quit my damn job Monday, but I saved up big time, taking about 2 months off, maybe get a part. Yeah, I respect that. And see, the thing is, K, and everybody else, when it comes to quitting your job and shit like that, if we was able to stick together, you wouldn't even have to worry about a job. Hell, I got a better one for you, K. If we was able to stick together, not only we wouldn't have to worry about a job, but we wouldn't even have to worry about money if we was able to stick together. If we was able to stick together, we wouldn't have to worry about shelter, food, resources. We wouldn't have to worry about none of that shit because the Most High will provide us with all we need. But because we so divided, we continue to depart from the way of how we should really be living. And we have gave in to this false reality in this current construct that was created in man, that was mandated and made by another man. And we got comfortable. We're crawling on our stomachs. Now it's time to get up and march to the beat of the drum of the Most High and get to stepping with this truth. Straight up. Brittany in this thing. What's good with you, Brittany Jones? I see you in this thing, sis. Young Reek said, I refuse to allow Tim to let another man feed me. I respect that. That's real talk. Brittany say, what's your plan at KXB? Brittany trying to see what's your plan after quitting your job, KXB. RC say, it's sad, but it's true. It is. And you know it's true, RC. You know I ain't lying. At RC say at K, yes, have a plan. Make sure you have funds saved up just in case something happens. Definitely. And per se, we have everything we need for free that the Most High gave us. Once you spiritually evolve, you want to get away from all this fake ish and live off the land. It's time to get back to living off the land. I know you love your Wi-Fi. I know you love the convenience of DoorDash. I know you love Uber Eats. I know you love Instacart. I know you love the comfort of feeling like paying bills is setting you free. It's time to get back to living off the land. I know you love the convenience of going to the grocery store and picking out your own fruits and vegetables. It's time to get back to living off the land. It's time to get back to it. And in fact, nature have a way of restoring everything back in its natural position or back in its natural order, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. All right? Brittany Jones say, how much y'all think you should have saved up before quitting your job? It depends on your circumstances. Everybody's circumstances is different, Brittany. And what I mean by that is if it depends on if you got a family. Some people got 2-3 kid household with a spouse. It depends on your situation. It depends on the lifestyle that you want to live. But if I'm realistically speaking, in terms of the system, I would say at least have 6 months to a year worth of spendings, or 6 months to a year worth of savings put up. But if I'm speaking in terms of true freedom, you ain't got to have nothing to quit your job. Because if I'm speaking in terms of true freedom, you don't even need the resources that's within the matrix anyway. Now, I'm going to go a little deeper. When you have made up in your mind that you want to quit your job and you don't want to work no more, you got to be willing to make sacrifices. You got to be willing to do without a lot of the normal things that we was told that we should have. Now, like I said before, you should have 6 months to a year, probably 2 years worth of savings if you're going to quit your job from a systemic or a systematic point of view. But if you want true freedom, you shouldn't have nothing. You should just be tired of working. God will help you figure that shit out. All right? If you really want to be free. Now, the only thing when it comes to true freedom and you really wanting to be free and you just quit without nothing cold turkey, you got to have some kind of level of spiritual strength and endurance. And you got to have some kind of experience, or you got to know how to live outside of the matrix. Now, if you don't know how to, or if you haven't mastered how to live outside of the matrix yet, then yeah, you're gonna have to probably have a year worth a year worth of savings before you quit your job. That's what I would say. But if you know how to sustain outside of the matrix, you ain't gotta have shit. Cause you already got everything you need. Straight up. And that's real talk. RC say, Brittany Jones, depends on where you living at, but I would have at least 5K saved up, at least, but the goal is more than that. Yeah, that's 5K is about 6 months. 6 months worth of savings, about 6 months. Young Reek say, I say at least 15 to 20K saved up. Deani King say, I agree with 20K. Jobs are hard to get. Yeah, they definitely is. Jeb say, already, bro, speak that real. You already know, Jeb. Thanks for tuning in. RC say, exactly. God got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with none of this fake ass shit that we living by. We out here sleepwalking. Brittany say, yeah, I agree, Young Greek. Marshlow say, the Most High is all about simplicity of life. Definitely. Everything is simple with the Most High. We overcomplicating it. The Platinum Owl say, God never said create 40 different versions of the Bible, then claim one is truth, while same person that made the other Bibles is the same person who made the original. Yeah, it is deep. It ties into a lot of, a lot of delusional way of thinking, and they got a lot of people thinking delusional, and based on certain scriptures and abiding in a false narrative or a false society, and they put certain scriptures in the modern Bible to get you to live under the construct of this matrix, so you will feel like that you breaking one of the laws. God, this is what they did. As they translated a lot of the Bible, a lot of parts of the Bible, they implemented they narratives. The reason why they did that, because they knew that the Bible was going to be one of the main factors that was going to show people how to live, and it was going to be one of the main factors that teach people how to live and what to follow and what to believe. And so they know the moment you feel like you breaking one of them scriptures out of the Bible, they wanted to make you feel like you going against God. That's why they implemented a false narrative in their own ideology in different parts of the modern Bible. They tampered with the Bible. They did this on purpose. So when you say, like when the Bible say, you disobeying your slave master, and a man should work to the sweat of his brows or something like that, that's not God talking. That's another man telling you he want to keep your ass working. Telling you a man that don't work is a man that don't eat. God would never say no shit like that. Stop lying on the Most High. Most High never say a man who don't work is a man that don't eat. That's man that told your ass that shit. Another man told you that shit. God ain't never said a man, he who don't work is a man that will never eat. God ain't never told you no shit like that. Another man told you that shit. You know why? Because he want to keep your ass working. God ain't never told you if you don't work, you don't eat. God told you to replenish the earth, subdue the earth, and have dominion over the earth. Take care of the earth. God ain't never told you no shit. Yeah, a man that don't work is a man that don't eat. Gonna lie on the Most High like that. And people really believe that shit. So what they do, they remain a slave. They go out here and they work to the sweat of their brow. And they keep working and they keep working. And then they look up and they realizing they don't understand that they done worked their whole life away. Because they done been brainwashed to think that That scripture came from the divine. It's a divine order. When that scripture never came from God. That shit came from your slave masters. All right? God told you to have dominion of the earth. Subdue it. Replenish. Multiply. Subdue. Take care of the earth. Have dominion. Establish authority of the earth. That's all the Most High told you. All that other shit is bullshit. And I don't care who get mad. It's bullshit. Most High made an abundance of fruits and vegetables and herbs and natural resources and crystals and water, drinking water, and all these different things for you, for free. For free. Never told you you gotta work for this shit. Most High just told you, take care of the planet, take care of the earth. I gave you an abundance of everything you need. Don't be listening to no fucking man that put something in the book to brainwash you and then lie on the Most High and say this is the word of God. Bruh, let me tell you something. And y'all better hear me if y'all don't hear me with nothing else I say in this live. You better remember, you bet not believe everything you read. Stop believing everything you read just because somebody said it's truth. This is where spirituality and discernment kicks in at. Because when you discern a certain belief, a certain ideology, see, you can discern other things besides people. See, when we always talk about the gift of discernment, we always associate it with just discerning other people. Well, let me tell you something about discernment. You can discern a particular ideology, a particular belief, a particular construct. And it's a thing that called intuition. Your spirit have a way of knowing what sounds right and what's not right, what's of God and what's not of God. So you have to have discernment from all angles, not just with dealing with people. You got to have discernment with the things you read. You got to have discernment with the things you follow after and the things you trust. That's for your better half. Or that's for your benefit. You have to be able to dissect certain things and do away with certain things that's not of God. Don't believe everything you read. Just because somebody put it in the book and they told you that's the truth, that don't mean it's of God. That don't mean it's of God. They put it in the book and they tell you that's the truth. No, that's not the truth. That's they truth. It's a difference. That's not God's truth. That's they truth. They put in there. That's another man's truth of what he believe or what she believe. But that's not the truth of the divine. And now you out here doing some shit you ain't got no business doing because you lost. You lost. In this age, in this day and age, question everything. I don't care where it came from. I don't care if it's evolving ancient Kemet. I don't care if it's evolving Egyptian mythology. I don't care if it's evolving the Greek mythology. I don't care if it's evolving Christianity. I don't care if it's evolving Islam. I don't care what it's involving. Question everything. Question everything. Straight up. Marshall say, okay, I read that one. Philadelphia say salute, True Media, and chat. Peace and blessings to all in here. Peace and blessings to you too, Philadelphia. The Platinum Owl say facts. Sage say sup, True. What's good with you, Sage? I see you in this thing, Sage. Epic. RC say it's a fear thing. If people don't fear these things, they can't be controlled by this matrix. That's the beginning of separation. As you begin to break away from the fears of this matrix, then you begin to separate from this ideology or this construct. The Platinum Owl say it was never set up for us to get together, but it's the only way to true peace. It starts within first. That's it. You know what? Let me skip down to the bottom. Y'all know what I don't like? I don't like how people in general always quote the Bible, always quote Jesus. They always quote Buddha. They always quote Muhammad, but they never live like them. Do y'all notice that shit? Most people in general never take on the challenge to live like Christ. They never take on the challenge to live like their ancestors. They never take on the challenge to live like Buddha or Krishna. But they always quote what these people said. But they never take on the challenge to live how they lived. You know why? Because people is full of shit. And they really is not followers of Christ. They really is not followers of Muhammad. They really is not followers of Buddha. They really is not followers of Krishna. They ain't. They full of bullshit. Let's keep it real. They'll quote them all day long, but be scared to live like them. Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, these people was poor. They had nothing, and they didn't give a fuck about what you thought about them. Moses, Aaron, Joshua. People love to quote these people. And they just don't get it. They don't get it, bruh. When is you gonna get to the point to where you say, listen, I've been quoting Bible verses, Quran verses. I've been quoting verses out the Apocrypha for forever. Let me try to really live like this. When is you gonna do that? Let me really try to live like this. Not being perfect, but being rebellious in a certain sense. All throughout the scriptures, all you seen was a gang of rebellious spiritual teachers. And I don't give a fuck who you want to start with. You can start with Abraham. You can start with Moses. You can start with Noah. All these different people was rebellious. They didn't follow societal norms or expectations. They didn't go along with the systems of the government back then. In fact, we know that the Messiah, the one we call Jesus, he was so rebellious to the point to where the Pharisees got jealous and got mad because he wasn't with gambling. He wasn't with their particular lifestyle or their way of living. So the Pharisees went to Caesar from the Roman Empire and they said, it's this man professing to be the Son of God and he's rebellious. And what they did, they crucified him. Because the real ones know in order to really be free, you have to exclude yourself from this way of living, from this construct. And that's what the Messiah knew. Y'all not about to have me living like this. I don't mess with none of y'all. I don't care who get mad. Went in the temple flipping over tables and shit. People never talk about that side of the Messiah. They never talk about that side of Jesus when he angry. See, I've been posted did a live about who Jesus really was. But y'all know why I didn't do that live already? Because I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. And the reason why I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings and the reason why I've been backing off from doing that live, because a lot of people is going to look at me differently and they're going to look at Christ differently. Because Christ is not all about love and being charismatic. Christ, the real Messiah, was rebellious. Straight up. And that shit gonna hurt a lot of people because what they did in a distorted modern version of the Bible that we know about today is they tampered with a lot of the true the parts of the Bible where the most important parts. Now they got you thinking that, but people never talk about that side of the Messiah. That shit'll scare your ass, huh? You're not even understanding that you believe in the maniac. That shit'll scare the fuck out your ass. Yeah. The person you call Jesus, the person you call Christ was a maniac. For right reasons, for a proper cause. For this truth. But you don't want to believe that though. You want to believe he was all caring and all loving. Nah, he was a maniac. Straight up. You don't want to talk about that though, huh? That shit'll scare your ass. To know that you following the maniac. Stop playing, bro, with this truth. Because the real ones know you got to be rebellious if you really stand on what you believe. Shit. Abraham was a maniac. Y'all don't know nothing about 300. Well, since I know a little bit about the Bible, because I know most people don't read their Bible. They talk about they believe in Christ and they Christians and they believe in the scriptures. Let me tell you a little bit about Abraham. Abraham was a fucking killer. Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know Abraham was a killer? Do you know Abraham got with 300 other soldiers and they slaughtered thousands of different armies. That's where you get the movie 300 from. You didn't know that, huh? You didn't know that, huh? I know you didn't know that because you don't read. But because I'm here, I'm going to give you what's in your Bible, what you claim that you profess to believe. That's the word of God. I'm going to give it to you raw, real, and uncut, and I don't care how much you don't like it. Abraham got with 300 other soldiers and slayed and killed thousands of different armies. It's called 300. That's where they get the movie 300 from. If anybody remember that movie that came out like 10 years ago or like 15 years ago called 300, remember that movie with them soldiers? All that shit was based on biblical history of how Abraham and his soldiers got together and they slaughtered thousands of armies and conquered a lot of different lands. See, people don't want me to talk because I'm going to hurt your feelings. I know it. I'm going to hurt your feelings. Because I know you don't read. I know you don't know this. I know you don't. I know you don't know that Jesus Christ was a maniac. He was a rebellious man. I know you don't know this. I know you don't. The hell? I know you know that Moses wasn't a killer and Moses killed the Egyptian man. I know you don't know that. I know that Platinum Al. I know his name wasn't Jesus. I know that Platinum, but I'm just the reason why I'm calling him Jesus right now, Platinum, because you know that's what a lot of people refer to when they say the name of the Messiah. I don't give the Messiah no name. Now we know that Yahshua, Yahawashai, is in the Hebrew language. We understand that. But the reason why I'm saying Jesus is because I know a lot of people refer to the Messiah as the name of having the name of Jesus. But we all know that wasn't his name. We all know that wasn't his name. And so, but the sad part about it, people will argue with you all day long about how Jesus is loving and Jesus is gonna come back and save their sins, and Jesus is he on his way back. He right there. Jesus ain't coming back nowhere. Yahshua HaMashiach ain't coming back to save nobody. You got to save yourself. Yahawashai, Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus, Christ, whatever name you want to give the Messiah, he gave you a blueprint and showed you how to save yourself. He ain't coming back to save you. I used to think that too. I used to always think like, man, I know one day Jesus ain't coming back to save you. You got to save yourself. He already did the groundwork. He already laid out the blueprint for you to save yourself. Period. Argue with somebody else. I don't care how mad you get. I know this hurt because it's the truth. But ain't nobody coming back out that sky to save you. You got to save yourself. The Messiah helped you with realizing who you is by his works and the groundwork that he laid to leave behind so you can follow after. But y'all don't want to follow after the workings of the Messiah because the Messiah was a maniac and the Messiah was rebellious. And the Messiah understood. I can't be soft and get my point across. I can't be soft and think that's how I'm going to get my point across. That's why they revered him. That's why they despised the Messiah, because he was rebellious. He didn't give a fuck. I'm keeping it real with you. He gave us the blueprint how to live this shit. But we ain't really most people not really willing to really fight against the oppressor. Most people not really willing to do that. But they claim they followers of Christ. How you gonna be a follower of Christ and you not even picking up his beliefs or ideologies and living by it? How? How you claim that you've been infested with the spirit of the ancestors and you not even a fighter? You a Tucker Taylor and you a runner. Come on, man. Let's talk about this truth. I know it's going to hurt some feelings. I'm starting to see a lot of people drop up out the chat. It's been a lot of people in here, but I'm starting to see the chat numbers go down, 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 and down. And that's why I haven't made the live about who was Jesus. The reason why I haven't made that live yet about who the Messiah really is, because it's going to hurt a lot of feelings. Going to hurt people's feelings. It's going to hurt your fucking feelings. How you looking at me like I did something to you, but I'm just telling you the truth. And the truth hurts. And the truth is, the person you claiming to be, the one that died for your sins, the person you claiming to be, God Almighty, the person you claiming to be, the one that's coming back to save you, was a maniac. And your pastor ain't gonna never tell you that, because your pastor love that offering that you give every Sunday. And he know if he tell you this shit, it's gonna mess with his money. See, I ain't got no agendas attached to this shit. So I'm gonna give you the uncut raw truth. Whether it hurts you or not, the truth hurts. It should hurt. That means you learning something new. Straight up. Shit. And the truth will set you free. I love how you put that, Malik. My boy Malik in this thing. And the truth will set you free. You right on point with that, brother. But they don't want to talk about this. And every day, people wake up, they look themselves in the mirror, and they say they know that Jesus is coming back to save them. And you don't either understand. The Christ that the Bible was talking about that's going to come back was you. The Christ that the Bible was talking about coming back in the last days is you. It's not another man. It's you. It's consciousness. But see, I got to break this stuff down because I know a lot of people don't understand this. Let me go back to towards the middle, because a lot of people in here. I'm gonna start right. I'm gonna go back up a little bit. Damn, boy, what was okay? Okay, I'm gonna start right here. Okay, I'm right here. RC say exactly. God got nothing to do with this. Okay, I read that. I read that. Okay. Young Greek say the generation curse ends with me. Listen, we gotta be trying to break out this shit. Straight up. You think it stopped with you think the fight stopped with MLK? You think the fight has stopped with Malcolm X? No, we still gotta fight. We still gotta fight. We still at war. The war is not over. The war is not over. I don't know who told y'all to get comfortable. I don't know who told y'all to start turning the other cheek. I don't know who told y'all that the war is over. The war is still in play. The war is in full effect. This shit ain't went nowhere. We still at war. The Platinum Owl say, I keep trying to tell people this. Yeah, well, we gonna keep telling them until they get it. Greg Francis say facts. The Platinum Owl say we are the blueprint of creation. That's facts. Philadelphia say truth. The Platinum Owl say we got spirituality we can use to fight our way up out of fight our way up out of. Hold up, you said we got spirituality we can use to fight our way out and learn ancient spirituality. Freedom comes with knowledge. Yeah, knowledge is power. Definitely. The Platinum Owl say facts. Surprises say okay. The Platinum Owl say yep. Philadelphia say time for action. Man, we need to be putting in this work. Ain't nobody coming to save you. We're supposed to be banding together to save ourselves, to then help pave the way for the next generation. That bullshit somewhere else. Ain't nobody coming to save you. I know you wish you had it the easy way out, but nah, bro, you still at war. And ain't nobody gonna get you out this shit but yourself. And you turning your heart and your ways back to God. Once we turn our heart and our ways back to the Most High, God gonna wipe all this shit out for us. But we too busy following the ways of man. We don't want to abide or live according to the purpose of God. We want to abide by another man's construct and reality. Philadelphia say time for action. The Platinum Owl say we can't. Greg Francis say get it off, family. You already know we going in, man. The Platinum say Ogun did too, for real. RC say actions need to start. Man, we gotta come up with solutions. We gotta be talking amongst each other. We gotta be having these conversations like we is right now. All that talking, man, listen, bruh, it's outdated. Straight up. Young Greek say 100. RC say I agree. Greg say he right. Freedom, me either. Platinum Owl say facts. Jose in this thing say chosen ones are the most intelligent mother lovers of this world. I appreciate you tuning in, Jose. That's real talk. Malik in this thing say we can't lay down. We got to stand up and fight for everything we stand for. That's the only way. That's the only way. Ain't no other way. The Platinum Owl say if we stuck together, the world would become the new heaven that they told us was in the sky. I'm telling you. But we don't have the courage. We don't have the courage or the discipline. Most people is discouraged. And they scared and they full of fear. Phil say sounds good. The Platinum Owl say this world wasn't always evil till colonization. That's facts. The Platinum Owl say facts. Young Rick say consistently supporting one another no matter what. I'm telling you, if we was to support each other like we do these name brand companies, Nike and Reebok and all these if we was to support each other like we do with all these fashions and things like that, money wouldn't even be a problem. We wouldn't even be talking about money. That'd be the last thing on our plate that we worried about. RC say facts 100. Platinum Owl say facts. Philadelphia say big facts. The Platinum Owl say we got to make our ancestors' legacy mean more than some bullshit, money. Come on, bruh. Here it is. Our ancestors been fighting for us for 1,000+ years. And we gonna come along and just get comfortable because now we got another way to make some money or earn some money. And we gonna settle for some fucking money, some fiat currency, some money that ain't even real. We gonna settle for a fake reality. We gonna settle for this fake ass matrix when our ancestors fought for thousands of years to keep us from coming into this time that we in right now. They wanted to keep us free. They wanted to keep us out in nature. They wanted to keep us tapped into the divine. But we lost our ways and we settled for some fucking money. Jose say be delusional people when you won't. Phil say we all talk base. I don't know what you're talking about, Phil. Marshall say amen at platinum. Jose say but we are the most intelligent. That's fact, man. Yes, we the trailblazers. Sage Epic say intelligence means nothing without action. Nothing. I'm telling you. And most people you see in life, they run that pie maker. They love to run their mouth. But it's like, what you gonna do about it? And if you ain't did nothing about it right now, what solutions does you have for the people? Because either you doing something about it or you better have some solutions for this problem that we under. But if you ain't trying to do nothing about it and you ain't got no solutions, shut the fuck up because you just talking. Straight up. Javante in this thing say, boy, you preaching to the choir. I appreciate that, Javante. Welcome to the live. The Platinum Owl say they use social media adject. The Platinum Owl say facts. Phil say intelligence ain't buying no land. Yeah. Well, guess what, Phil? Peace out. I'm gonna get you on out of here because I see that you don't understand, bruh. Blocked him. He gone. He wanted to just come in and get his shit off and end up getting blocked. Ain't got no time for that dumb shit. We talking about some serious shit, bruh. We ain't got no time for no smart, dumb shit. Fuck out of here, bruh. Straight up. Jose say, believe it. The Platinum Owl say, we got to break the matrix. Deani King say, preach. The Platinum Owl say facts. Surprise say, yeah, bro. How old are you? Shit's real. I take your advice because you're man, I'm 30, man. 30. Greg say, they not studying that. Juan Silva say, I'm grateful for my freedom from toxic relationships. Definitely. Young Greek say, we all here for a limited amount of time. We ain't got forever. People walking around here like they gonna live for the next 1,000 years. We ain't got forever. Straight up. The Platinum Owl say facts. Malik say, and we as a people failed to their tactics. We gotta stop being so abiding. Come up with our own holidays. Let's come up with our own laws. God's law is our law. Our law is God's law, not another man. Let's come up with our own holidays. Let's come up with our own money. Let's come up with our own system. Let's grow our own fruits and vegetables. The Platinum Owl say, to forfeit divine power shows one soul is lost and their mission isn't clear. The Platinum Owl, I love the way you put that. Let me tell you something, Platinum. Here it is. We was given power from God. We have forfeited it. We don't want to have nothing to do with it. In fact, we do as best we could to not to use the power that God gave us. We always find an excuse to stay in bondage because we have been programmed and we have been programmed to believe that the power of God or the power that God have given us doesn't work. It's useless. That's what we have grown to believe. That's what they had made us grow to believe, that the power that God gave us is useless. But the power that they give us is useful. What's the power they give us? Money, opportunity, education, religion. We have took on the power that comes from them and have made it a permanent way of living and interacting amongst each other. And we never tap into the power that God gave us. And we die and go to our grave, not even knowing that we was mighty, more powerful than what we ever could imagine. And we never used our spiritual capabilities or spiritual power because we always was listening to another man and following another man reality. The Platinum Owl say, okay, I got that. Sage say, if we fail, we're just as bad as them. I'm telling you, real talk. I like the way you put that. We can't fail. We can't. We hold the power to how the next 1,000 years is gonna go. We hold that power. Us. You got niggas worried about what's gonna happen tomorrow. You got niggas worried about trying to change next week. You need to be waking up every day trying to change the next 1,000 years. Because you hold the power to what happens in the next 1,000 years based on your actions and the blueprint you leave behind to the next generation. Greg say, my boy in his bag. Yeah, you already know. Greg say, preach. Powerful message, my brother. Appreciate you tuning in, Greg. I appreciate that, man. Straight up. It's all love, brother. This is what we do. Jose say, I don't know if it's possible to rule the world with any money. It's possible. I'm going to tell you how it's possible. Because God said it's possible. Stop being scared, Jose. Stop. Y'all got to stop being scared. That ain't nothing but fear talking, Jose. All that shit you just put, no disrespect, Jose, but all that you just put, I don't know if it's possible to rule the world with no money. That ain't nothing but fear and programming speaking through you. Your spirit is full of fear. Your spirit is full of what if. Your spirit is full of programming. Stop it. Malik say somebody got to be David. Say real. Platinum say facts. Jose say what we can do. I'm telling you. Listen, that's the question. RC say, we chase things of the world that don't matter, satisfying our flesh. The Platinum Owl say because you can't run from the shift. You can't. Word your solutions. Say word your solutions carefully. Say Sage Epic. The Platinum Owl say facts. Malik say this is bigger than money. Salute 100. Straight up. Jose say that's true. The Platinum say facts. D's say preach. Malik say we got to put all our energy in changing the future for the generations and more. That's what it's all about, bruh. The Platinum say yup. Emperor say, we have to be a living sacrifice for the Most High. It's about our kids and they kids and so on. That's what real love is. But let me tell you something about that, Empress Mercedes. People love that Jesus made a sacrifice for them. But is those same people willing to make a sacrifice for their kids? Is those same people willing to make a sacrifice for their descendants like Christ made for us? Is those people that's always talking Jesus this and Jesus that, is they willing to make the same sacrifice like he did for them? In fact, it's a lot of people who always talking about the ancestors. Is those people that's always talking about the ancestors willing to make a sacrifice like the ancestors did for us? If you not, then what is you talking for? Take the blue pill, wake up and believe whatever the fuck you want and stay out the way. If you're not willing to make no sacrifice. Platinum Owl say, facts at Malik Carter, we got to get into mass meditations. RC say, you cooking, man, everything true. You already know how we do this, RC. Real talk. I ain't got no time to be playing around. I'm going to die one day. You going to die one day. Everybody on this live, within the next 60 to 100 years, we going to be gone. We going to be dead, bruh. We going to be in the grave. And the main thing that's going to count is not your accolades, not your popularity, not your status, not your money. It's going to be your mentality. It's going to be your connection to the divine. It's going to be the consciousness that you possessed. How you show people how to live better. As he say, peace. Sound mind say peace. Living say, hey, brother, what's good with you, Living? I see you. The Platinum Mouse say we also have to do breath work. Yeah, learn how to breathe. That's a skill. Mel say, what's up, True? What's good with you, Mel? I see you in this thing. Say 100% true, exactly accurate. Say, we dealing with a lot of evil powers, good versus darkness, the Lord versus the enemy. It ain't the Lord versus nobody. God ain't at war with nobody. It's us versus the enemy. God is watching to see what we gonna do. Let me skip to the bottom. Let me tell you something. Everybody on this chat, everybody that's peeking, who don't want to comment, and everybody who gonna listen to this on the playback, let me tell you something right now. God ain't at war with nobody. Can't nobody go to war with the Most High. Nobody. Ain't nobody is mighty or powerful to go to war with God. Not the devil, not no fallen angel, not no angelic being, nobody. The enemy is at war with you and me. The enemy is at war with you, your family, me, my family. We is at war with the enemy. God ain't at war with nobody. And ain't nobody at war with God. Can't nobody have the amount of wisdom, weaponry to go at God. So we need to realize and understand God ain't at war with nobody. The enemy is at war with you and me. We, the soldiers that's on the battlefield. Ain't nobody at war with God. And God ain't in war with nobody. All right? So I want y'all to remember, ain't nobody coming to save you. Will the Most High give you clarity and give you a form of a path to go down to defeat this beast? Of course, the Most High got our back. The Most High got our back. But you got to remember, we at war, not God. God ain't at war with nobody. And ain't nobody at war with God, all right? So the sooner you start looking at that and understanding that, the quicker you begin to put on your garment and and shield up and power up spiritually. Straight up. What was okay. Let me see, what was we at? Okay, we right here. Malik say, and we got to stop helping people. We got to stop helping people. Okay, and we got to stop helping people or starting helping people and our neighbors first. Yeah, always look out for your neighbor if possible. Gobi say, they silence those who speak with their numbers. Yeah, that's big facts. The Platinum Owl say we against the fallen angels and extraterrestrials. You got it, Platinum. Platinum, you own it. Yeah, you own it. Yeah, we at war with these things, not God. Straight up. God's people is at war, not God. All right? Sage say, we're against Lucifer fighting Baal, and it's real. And they throwing blows at us right now. Over the internet, they throwing blows at putting shit in our food. They throwing blows at brainwashing us with this false education. They throwing blows with this monetary system. They throwing blows at us with got us paying bills every 30 days. They throwing blows at us with living a particular lifestyle that's not of God. The Platinum Owl say we going through a spiritual war that may or aren't aware of. So many people are very vulnerable to believing anything instead of searching for the truth. And it's going to cost them in the long run if they don't wake up. Say God defeats them, but he called his warriors to fight for him. It's time to fight. It's time to fight, bro. Real talk. Malik say the boarding and treating the system, the boarding and treating system. Facts. Redencio message got restricted. Living say big facts. The Platinum Owl say be careful at them airports too. Y'all, it's going to be a lot going down at airports by 2026. So be on the lookout. Yeah, that's facts. Malik say goods was the money. You have to trade for what? They say good was the money. You have to trade for what won't. The Platinum say facts. Sonny Ray in this okay, Sonny Ray in this thing. Nikita in this thing say 50,000. D's say this is one of the realest channels on YouTube, 100. Yeah, D's, you already know. Every time you tune on in, you in for something that's gonna help you, and it's gonna be nurturing to your soul. It's gonna help you understand how to navigate this lifestyle and what this shit come with and what you up against and who you really is. The Platinum Owl say this is why y'all should be getting crystals, gold or silver, because Earth's natural resources will be eventually the new currency. It already is. Why they got us chasing fake fiat currency, they stacking up all the real currency like platinum, copper, gold, diamonds, crystals, water, land, food, and natural remedies, herbs. They stacking up all this shit and got you chasing money. You notice we the realest channel on YouTube. I just have to say this because it ain't nobody like True Media. Because our thinking, the level of the level and the depth that we go to when it comes to comprehension and thinking is like no other channel on YouTube. It's like no, and this is no disrespect to other people. I just had to say that. But you notice, Platinum, you notice how the only thing they give you, matter of fact, I'm going to skip down to the bottom and I want y'all to answer this. Everybody, can somebody or can y'all put in the chat, what's the only thing they give you for working? What's the only thing they give you? Somebody put it in the chat. What's the only thing that you can get from working? Can somebody put it in the chat? What's the only thing you can get from working? What's the only thing? What's the main thing that they give you for working? Somebody put it in the chat. I'm going to wait. What's the only thing you normally get when you got to go to work? It's one thing that you get after working. Somebody put it in the chat. Somebody put it in the chat. Okay, Platinum say crumbs. Sage say the only thing that gets you from working is more work. Emperor say a piece of paper. There you go. But it's a particular name for that piece of paper. What's the only thing they give you for going to work? Somebody say it. It's not that hard. We all know it. What's the only thing they give you? Money. There you go. Malik said money. Tommy said money. Everybody know money. A paycheck. That's the only thing you will ever get for going to work. Why the fuck you don't give me no gold, nigga? Why you don't give me no silver for working? Why the fuck you don't give me no land for working? Why you don't give me no natural resources for working? Because they know that's the true currency of God. That fake fiat currency that they giving you, that shit gonna burn up and it don't mean nothing. So, you know what the only thing that they will ever give you for working is money. Because money don't mean shit. They print money. They would never give you gold for working. They would never give you diamonds for working. They would never give you land for working. They would never give you natural remedies. You can't even work for water. You can't even work for water. You can't even work for water if you wanted to. Only thing you can work for under this system is money, because money ain't shit and they print money. And they know it don't mean nothing. You can't work for a new car. You can't work for a new house. Can't work for no gold. You can't work for no copper. You can't work for no stainless steel. None of that. Only thing they will ever give you for working is money. Because they know that's the lowest thing that they can give you. Is money. And they know it don't mean shit. That shit, if you just think about that, it's sad, bro. If you really just think about that. The only thing I can work for is money? That shit is fucked up. They don't give you no other option. See, I think this system will be a better farewell system if you can go to work for gold. Like if I build you a palace, you give me a certain amount of gold. That'll be a better way. If I work, and this is how we used to be. This is how we used to be back in the day. This is how it used to be. If I work for you, you will give me a portion of land. This is how it used to be. Now, all you can work for is money. Because money is the lowest thing you can earn. Because it's not even real. It's not even real. Y'all ain't ready for your boy True, man. Y'all ain't ready, man. Y'all ain't ready for me, man. Y'all ain't ready, man. Y'all ain't ready, man. And this is no disrespect to no other channel on YouTube, but we slaughtering shit on this platform. We the realest in this shit. I never say it because I never try to toot my own horn to make myself feel like I'm more worthy or special than anybody else. But I know We got the sauce over here. The people that's on this channel, the way we think, ain't nobody fucking with this channel. Excuse my language, but ain't nobody messing, because we just in another stratosphere. We in another stratosphere. And when we get together and we talk amongst each other as sisters and brothers and believers in the Most High, or we kings and queens, or gods and goddesses, and we talk each other about this truth, we go to certain depths that other people can't go to. I'm telling you, it's within our makeup. We don't gotta try too hard. We don't gotta read 1,000 books. We don't gotta fly all over the world and look at all these different pyramids. We ain't gotta throw nobody under the bus. We is authentic to the core with this truth. And it comes off naturally. We just have a natural way of knowing what's real. And it's all love, too. Nobody gonna talk this shit like this because they too busy competing in the game. They trying to compare themselves to other people who they should be working with, who they should be building with. Got you thinking you free on the weekends after you get ready and you get off of work. They got you thinking you free. I'm free for the weekend, but you got to do it all over again Monday morning. Ain't you tired of that shit? Ain't you tired of going to work just to get some money that ain't even real? Spending all your time at a job, putting into another man's dream or another man's business, all your time, all your hard work, and you barely get a vacation, and you only get 2 days off? And people calling that freedom. That ain't freedom. Ain't shit about that free. That ain't freedom. Straight up. Straight up. I know people that go to work 70 hours. I used to be one of them. I used to go to work 70 hours. 70 hours out of the week. Tired, bruh. My back beat in. I barely can feel my feet. My ankles is swell. I'm tired. I get 10-minute breaks, 30-minute lunches, and I couldn't wait for the weekend so I can get some rest. Didn't used to do nothing. Didn't want to go out. Didn't want to go to travel nowhere. Didn't want to spend no time with the family. All I used to do on my off days is go to sleep because I was tired. Shit, I don't give a fuck if you gotta make twice as less to not go to a job. I'd rather make twice as less money to not go to a job than to have all the money at my disposal but have no freedom or have no sense of freedom. It's people that work 70, 80, 90 hours. This is it gotta get to a point to where people is tired. Tired. Gotta get to a point to where you tired, man. You tired. Ain't nothing wrong with that. God didn't call you to work your whole life and work for another man corporation. Another man told you you gotta do that. It comes a time where you get tired. You tired, man. Straight up. And what make it even worse is you got to do this shit for 30 to 40 years before you see retirement. You start working by 16 years old and you can't retire until you 65. It used to be 50. Now they pushed it back to 65. So they want you to start working at 16 and you can't retire till you 65 years old. You done worked 50 years. You worked 50 years. You start work by 15, 16, and you don't retire till you're 65. And some people not retiring until they like 70, 75. You work 40 to 50 years. And still die with nothing. Well, if I'm going to die with nothing, why the fuck should I work for? Why go to work if I know in the end I'm going to die with nothing anyway? Why go to work? I had to think about that myself. It's people out here that go to work 40 and 50 years and they still die with nothing. If I'm going to go to work for 40 and 50 years, it better damn sure be something that I love and that I enjoy doing. If it's not nothing that I love and can enjoy doing, what I look like going to go work for 40, 50 years? Because whether you're rich or not, you still gonna die with nothing. Whether you rich or not, you still is gonna die with nothing. So if I know I'm gonna die with nothing and I can't take nothing with me, why the fuck do I want to go to work at all? If I know I can't take nothing with me after I die, and I know that I'm going to eventually die with nothing, whether I get rich or not, I'm going to end up dying with nothing, because everybody going to die with nothing, and you can't take nothing with you. So if I know that, why would I go to work and do some shit just because another man told me I gotta do it? Or you should be doing it. And most people will say, the reason why I go to work is because I gotta pay bills. Most people will say, the reason why I gotta go to work because I gotta put food on the table. And those is valid excuses. Those is valid reasons. But what people don't realize or understand, just imagine if you go back to that statement that Platinum Owl made earlier when Platinum Owl said, "A true people not even tapping into their divine power. They forfeiting they divine power." And I say, you know what, Platinum? You exactly right. If you would go back into that statement that Platinum Owl said earlier on his live, you will realize and understand, if you learn how to embrace the power that God gave you, you wouldn't even have to worry about bills and shelter in the first place. I'm not about to go slave my whole life away over some fucking bills. Fuck that shit. I'm sorry. Them bills can kiss my ass. Real talk. The fast way. If I know I'm about to go work for 30, 40, 50 years, I could never get back. Only to end up dying with nothing. Only to end up dying and not being able to take nothing with me. So whether you rich, whether you poor, or whether you in between, everybody is going to end up in the same place. Dead in the grave with nothing. Straight up. Shit crazy, man. It's just, it's sad, bruh. It's crazy. Let me get back to the chat and see what's going on. I'm going to skip down a little bit. I'm going to skip down just a little bit. I'm going to try to go a little closer to the bottom. I know it's a lot of questions. I'm going to start right here. Malik say facts. Platinum say facts. Daniela say, I work in hospital, and when the spirit leaves the body, there is nothing left. No energy, no more life. Yeah. Because you got to remember, Daniela, the spirit is what gives life to the body. See, let me tell you something, Daniela, and everybody else, and I know a lot of y'all know this on this channel. The body doesn't give life to the spirit. The spirit gives life to the body. So once the spirit is gone, the life is gone. All right? The body is still there. But once the spirit is gone, you kiss it goodbye. Platinum Owl say we should have our own everything because it always started with us. We the first ones to match what the Egyptians called Kemet, aka Black Land, that was invaded by the Arabians. Yeah. Most of the way we live is still under a Kemetic structure, a Kemetic system, or a Greek system. We still live under those same principles, Kemetic principles. They just playing with us. They using our power against us. They using our power against us. The things that made us strong, the things that made our ancestors strong in building and architecture and all these different things, they using them same Kemetic principles against me and you right now. The Platinum say whole time the Nubians owned it first. Yeah. Romeo in this thing say, I'm just happy I wasn't born in the 18th century. I kind of dig modern day living, but paying bills is diabolical. Well, what you like about it, Romeo, is the point that you feel like you don't have to fight like they did in the 18th century. See, the 18th century, in those times, it was a lot of wars, a lot of fighting. But guess what, though? Now, although you might not be at war with bullets and guns, you at war with yourself, your mind. They got you in bondage in your mind, your mentality. They have programmed you, me, my mama, your mama. They programmed us, Romeo, to settle for this reality. But the one thing it captures, the most important thing it captures, is your mind. So you might think that you got away from the 18th century. You might think just because you're not fighting bullets and guns, and you think that you're free. But really, your mind is in bondage. So it's really worse than the 18th century. You just can't see it like that. Because you expect, just because you're not fighting physically, you expect that you don't have to fight spiritually. See, in the 18th century, in the medieval times, a lot of our ancestors had control of the way that they was thinking. They had control of their land. They had control of their beliefs, their traditions. They had all that. We ain't got none of that. The only thing we got is a false sense of freedom. Because another man told us how freedom look, how it sound, and what it should feel like. But really, we worse than what we was in the 18th century. You just can't see it. Malik say, we all go be under that black flag. Michael say, people suck. Malik say, okay, restricted. Malik say, we're strong in numbers. Yeah, it's strength in numbers, Malik. It is. That's one thing our ancestors knew. That's why we always was very tribal. If you study our ancestors, right? We was very tribal for a reason. We wasn't independent. We wasn't. None of us was never independent. Our ancestors was never independent. We always was tribal because we understood the strength in numbers. We understood you get more done when it's more of us. We understood we don't have the amount of worries when we stick together like we would do if we independent. If we independent and everybody want to be independent, you're going to have a lot of worries, a lot of stress, a lot of problems. If we learn how to become tribal and stick together, you ain't going to have to worry about paying bills. You ain't going to have to worry about money. You ain't going to have to worry about where your next meal going to come from. You ain't going to have to worry about the laws and statutes of society or the government or another man telling you when and where to be. That's why we always was tribal, because we understood the strength in numbers. We didn't teach our kids none of this bullshit that they learning in school. We taught our kids who God was from the moment they came out the womb. We told them who God was. We taught them that they is a reflection of God. We taught them this shit. Our ancestors taught the kids who God was. We didn't teach them about Abraham Lincoln. We didn't teach them about what happened in the Civil War. Our ancestors taught the kids who God was from the moment they came out the womb. They taught them how to hunt. They taught them how to build. They taught them how to gather up natural resources. That's why we used to live longer back then. Because everything we did back then was natural. And when you natural, you live longer. When you live from a natural way of how God created us to live, you live longer. And our ancestors used to teach the kids in those times who God was, who mama and father was, and who they is. Now, from the moment you come out, you being brainwashed with the Matrix, with a false system that ain't even real. Straight up. And, you know, this is why back then, and I'm going to skip down to the bottom real quick. This is why back then, the young adults in our tribes, our ancestors, they was able to get married at an earlier age because they was more mature. They was way more advanced than we is. They was way more mature at the age of 14 than we was. So our ancestors used to allow the young adults to get married by the age of 14, by the age of 15. You can get married. You can get married. Because by the age of 12, you should be able to cook. You should know how to clean. You should know who God is. You should know who you is. You should know how to do astronomy. You should know how to navigate the environment. And you should know how to hunt. So our ancestors knew by the age of 12 years old, you should know how to do all these things. It was mandatory that they taught you. It was mandatory that you follow suit and you learn how to do all these things by the age of 12. And by the age of 14, you get married. All right? You get married to somebody in, your cousin tribe, or you get married, because we had thousands of different tribes, but we was all together as one people. We all was together. It was hundreds of thousands of us, millions of us. We was all together, but we had different tribes. All right? So you got to understand the young adults or the teenagers back in those times when our ancestors was moving and dwelling in the land, those teenagers was way more mature than us. Those young adults was way more mature than us. So by the age of 21 years old, You was looked at as an elder, as a full-grown adult. You was looked at somebody who can teach. Now, of course, you wasn't holistically speaking, you wasn't an elder of the tribe. We know the elders of the tribe was always north of 45, 50 years old. Those was more of the elders in our days of our ancestors. But they knew by the age of 21, you had your own family. You knew how to hunt. You knew who God was. You knew your responsibilities. And you knew how to manage your family on your own by the age of 21. So everything back then was faster because you wasn't being taught bullshit like nowadays. Nowadays, the kids come out, they being brainwashed about their history, they being brainwashed on their education, and it makes the kid more immature. But really, our ancestors used to tell you exactly who God was the moment your ass popped your head out of the womb. They was telling you who God was. They was telling you who your ancestors was. They was telling you and teaching you certain fundamentals of how to sustain on your own. That's real freedom. That's real freedom. Nowadays, it's the total opposite. They telling you they giving you a false education. They giving you a false history. And they telling you got to go to work to make a living. So, you know, it's amazing when you think about the ancestors, man. When you think about these different tribes, it's amazing. It's the way they did it, bro. The way they did it. The way they did it, bro. The way they used to live. I can see why now they was more intelligent than us. I can see why our ancestors was highly advanced and very educated, because the moment they came out the womb, they was learning shit. They was learning how to do real shit the moment they came out the womb. That's why they was highly intelligent and highly advanced. So yeah, man. That's what it was. That's how they lived. And that's how they showed us how to live. And that's why every now and then when you have a dream, your ancestors will come to you in a dream. Every now and then when you getting ready to do some shit that's not like your ancestors, you will feel like not doing it. Like some days you'll get up to get ready to go to work and you'll feel like, man, I don't feel like going to work. That's your ancestors giving you that feeling. Trying to remind you of where you came from. You didn't have to go to work. So they still will come to you in different ways to give you certain signals, to pinpoint you back to the truth and where you came from. Straight up. Shout out to the ancestors. They was real ones, bruh. They fought hard for keeping this shit happening to us like it's happening to us. They didn't want this for us. This not freedom. This not freedom. Let me see. Okay, that's from that. Okay. I'm gonna start right here. Uh, damn. I wanted to go back up a little bit. All right, let me. Malik say, I'm going to be on the battlefield for your life and my life. Salute to you, brother. 100. And Mel in this thing say, yo, true. What's good with the family? Everybody have a blessed Christmas. You too, big dog. Appreciate that, man. The Platinum Owl say facts. Malik say, people have war with their self. People is at war. They definitely at war with they self. That's true. The Platinum Owl say, because you can't walk into something that you are. One domain say, keep dropping, King. It's all love. I appreciate that, brother. The Platinum Owl say, in the Bible, it says clear as day that we are made in his image because he is the blueprint of us that he wanted us to tap into, not worship. But what people do though, Platinum? People start worshiping the Messiah. He's God. He did die for our sins. You blasphemed the Holy Ghost. You said that Jesus Christ wasn't God. Nigga, Jesus Christ said he wasn't God. What you mean? What you mean I blasphemed the Holy Ghost? Jesus Christ told you he wasn't God Almighty. But you made Jesus Christ God Almighty. Why you do that? And the man told you, greater works you should do than I. Lied on Jesus. Just told you, just lied on the Messiah. Running around here talking about Jesus Christ is God. The Messiah ain't never said he was God. He always professed it to be the Son of God. Always. The Platinum Owl say, oh yeah, I said that. I read that one. Tommy Lee say, what you think gonna happen here in the next few years of this spiritual battle with the way the economy is and people barely surviving? What's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is this war is getting ready to intensify. It's getting ready to increase. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a lot of bloodshed. A lot of bloodshed. It already been a lot of bloodshed, but it's going to continue to be a lot of bloodshed. Another thing that's going to happen is we going to go back to being more spiritual and more tribal. It's going to come a time where you, me, and a lot of people that think and act and move like us, we going to band together. And we going to go against this construct, this system. And in the process of us fighting back for our freedom and our liberty and power, it's going to be a lot of people dying, a lot of bloodshed. Malik Carter say the last should be first and the first shall be last. Facts. The Platinum Owl say at Tommy is going to be a sudden shift within the spiritual community, and we are going to be the ones to stop this war because the universe is forcing us to come together once and for all. Facts. That's a good way to put it, Platinum. Malik say sapphire and ivory. Yeah, sapphire and ivory. Yeah. Straight up. Even petroleum, aluminum. You feel me? Them other customs and natural resources. Oil, gas. Things like that. Rad 21 say, we mainly be at war with ourselves, generally speaking, before others go at war with us, while God is watching how we react and respond to those who harm you. Life is a test, but not an easy one for most. Yeah, it's some truth in that. Malik say facts, salute 100. The platinum say crumbs. Okay, we already got that one. Let me go down a little bit. Tommy Lee say, you right, bro. Ants say right. Romea say the 7 fallen angels only exist in a religion you believe in, Christianity. Well, it's a lot of different fallen deities. Where the deities fell from is a state of mind. A lot of people think when they hear about Satan getting cast down on the earth, or they hear about the fallen angels, people always think that the angels fell out of heaven. It's not necessarily that the angels fell out of heaven. The angels fell from a higher consciousness. Just like we did. Humans, we fell too. We didn't fall from a particular place. Divinity is within us. We is divine. We divine beings. We fell from the divine consciousness. It's not a particular place. It's a particular state that we all fell from. From me, you, Satan, the fallen angels, and many other deities have failed from a particular state, not a place. All right? And so, y'all have to remember the Bible, or when it talk about the 7 fallen angels in the Bible, it's not, and it talk about how the angels was cast down from heaven, and it talk about Lucifer was kicked out of heaven. It's not from a particular place. It's a particular state that Lucifer was cast out from, or Lucifer fell from. Lucifer at one point had divine, infinite, not infinite, but divine wisdom and knowledge of how things work. But Lucifer fell into a wicked state. You, me, we once was perfect. We once had a higher consciousness, but we fell to a lower conscious. We fell to a lower conscious. And now we experiencing a lower dimension. And we call it earth. But this earth at one point in time was divine. But a lot of the species of the earth fell to a lower state. All right. I wanted to break it down for you. All right, let me read a few more and then we're going to get up out of here. We've been in this thing talking, and it's been a good one too. It's been a good one right here. I probably got to put this live on playback myself. This was one of the ones right here. Straight up. Let me go back where I was at. I'm gonna try to read from where I was at on down. Okay. Let me see, where was I at? Okay, right here. London say fire 100. Empress say facts. Malik Carter say I need something for longevity, not money. One of my things that I like to do, or I try to do on this channel, of course you got to get money in this reality, in this system. But one of the main things I try to prepare my people for is the afterlife. I try to prepare you for the afterlife, how you think, and raising your vibration to prepare you for the afterlife. That way, when you get over there, it don't scare you, or you don't end up in a place called hell because of your state of mind. All right? So I'm not selling you no course. I'm not selling you no false belief. I'm not selling you no nothing to get you to believe that it's going to help you generate more money. I'm selling you freedom on the other side, the afterlife. And I'm not even selling it to you. I'm trying to get you prepared to have a sense of freedom and move and navigate throughout this life with a higher sense of frequency so it can prepare you for the afterlife. All right? Romia say other religions don't believe in fallen angels. Ant say, you want to return on your money. That's what they say. Yeah. Noah in this thing say, stopping by to say hello. Definitely will be tuning into this live. I'm gonna have to run it back. Yeah, run it back one time, Noah. It's a good one, I promise you. Let me see. Malik Carter say, work all your life, and what do you accomplish? Nothing. Ant say, it's a tool that can, yeah, it definitely is. Greg say yes. Malik got the salute 100. Let me see. Greg say we need you to run for office. Yeah, I will run for office, but they gonna kill me, bro. They gonna kill me fast. They can't have nobody like me in there. I'm fucking up their whole plan talking like this. The Platinum Owl say the soul is so sacred, money can't buy another one of those because you get one. And that's why they try to trick you so much and get you to buy into all these different things, because they want you to forfeit what's important and what's right in front of you. Your soul. You know what I mean? Your divine, your connection to the divine. Your power that lies within you. Empress say, needed this live. Appreciate you, brother. Very refreshing. I appreciate you too, Empress Mercedes, sis. It's all love. You already know. The Platinum Owl say that's facts. Sound Mind say, and it loses its value. It loses its value. And they trying to get rid of the dollar. We know this. We talked about this on this channel a lot of different times. We talked about on this channel how they coming out with the digital currency. It's already here. They're trying to get rid of the dollar to let you know it ain't shit in the first place and it was never worth shit. That's why they trying to get rid of it. Malik saying don't accomplish nothing and you work all your life. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Let me skip on down a little bit. My brother Rad21 say they don't even own print money either, but what God already created on earth for them to make it that way in the first place. But money wasn't never made with hands. It was already here. Well, we know that money is made out of cotton and linen. That's what money is made out of. And we know that those is natural resources. So if you speaking from that sense, Rad, you absolutely right. We don't make nothing. We don't own nothing. Everything comes from the earth. Your food come from the earth. Your car, the parts that you get from your car comes from the earth. Your house, the parts that makes your house come from the earth. The material to make the money comes from the earth. Everything comes from the earth. And they charging you for it. They charging me for it. You know what I mean? Metal, fire, everything comes from the earth. Everything was already here. The Platinum Owl say, that's why they made a flat earth and a round earth to have people arguing about it when reality it's a firmament. Yeah, we know what it is, Platinum. They do stuff like this. Greg Francis say 70 hours, you tripping. Yeah, I was tripping. I had to do what I had to do though, Greg. Shit. But I was tripping though. You right, bro. The Platinum Owl say, wow. Let me skip down. And say they even cutting retirement. They definitely is. That's sad. No more pensions, no more retirement. And they really don't even want you working because they firing and laying everybody off. It's crazy. Romeo say the mark of the beast is diabolical. London Hudson in his thing say, thank God I didn't have children. That's the true freedom. Yeah, you know, kids is a blessing. I got a son. But my son is a little older. He not old, but he's a teenager. So he pretty much, you know, can kind of he at the age where he know what's going on. He know a lot of my son know a lot. But I think we in a time right now where having kids is not the popular thing to do because of everything is cursed. The culture is cursed. The people is cursed. And so you really don't, if you gonna bring kids into this world, I'm not gonna tell nobody not to have no kids, but just make sure you have certain principles aligned for them to follow after, and you have a certain level of skill set to teach them. You feel what I'm saying? To have to navigate throughout this life, and keep it real with your kids, you know, and you gotta kind of live off the land. Teach them how to live off the land. Teach them how to fish. Teach them how to hunt. Teach them how to grow food, agriculture. So I wouldn't say having kids is a bad thing. Of course, you don't want to be bringing kids in this world if you're really not in a position to do so. But yeah, it will be a little easier if you don't have no kids right now in this day and age, because you just don't have to worry about having dependents or really, dealing with the stresses or complications of trying to raise another human. You know what I mean? That can get stressful, especially in the times of right now. It can be very difficult, especially with the government cutting resources. The cost of living is rising. It is kind of, it'll be hard. It really is. It's harder. It really is. But if you don't mind living off grid or living off the land, then it'll be a little easier. But most people not willing to live off the grid, living off grid or live off the land. But if you willing to live off grid and willing to live off the land, having kids is nothing wrong with it. Now it'll be harder if you have kids today and you living under this construct. You feel me? But yeah, I feel you though. I feel you. I know not having that many kids, it's a stress relief. I My son is about to be 13. My son about to be 14. My son about to be 14 in a couple of days. His birthday on December 21st. I don't know why I be saying my son about to be 13. He about to be 14. So I only got one son. I only got one child in particular. I only got one child. So it's really only been him that I've been having for the last 17, 18 years. You know what I mean? Or the last 16, 17 years, my bad. Just my son. But or I said the last 17, the last 13, 14 years, it's only been my son. I don't, but within those 13 years of me being a father, I always thought about having more kids, and I used to get scared. The reason why I used to get scared from having more kids, because I seen how you have to be very responsible when it comes to raising a child. And the responsibility of it kind of scared me when I was a young father. When my son was a newborn, when my son was like 3, 4 years old, I was kind of spooked at the responsibility. Cause, you know, I had to really adjust to being a father. And I told myself, is you willing to do this 3 or 4 more times for other kids? And so I told myself I'm not ready to, you know, expand that level of responsibility of having to worry about a lot of different individuals who I am responsible for. And that's why I only have one child. You feel me? That's why I only have one child. I ain't got no more. Even though a lot of my family be like, you need to have more kids. And I'd be like, maybe I will someday, but right now I'm thankful to just be responsible for one child. All right, so let me skip down a little bit. Skip down a little bit. Skip down a little bit. Try to get. The Platinum Owl say it's crazy our own people did this because Zeus refused to go by nature, a natural order, because it was born to him. So he started creating people that wasn't supposed to be here to destroy us and take over. Yeah, it's wild when you think about we is a part of our own demise. Platinum Owl, we was very rebellious against the Most High. We was disobedient, and we wanted to do things our way, and look where it got us. That's a part of the history too that a lot of people don't talk about. Malik Carter say facts. Raz say the devil himself was once obedient to God from the beginning until he disobeyed God himself. Yeah. Malik say you already know, bro. You know. They can't do that. They can't do that. Yeah, facts. The Platinum Owl say facts. The Platinum Owl say, I'm about to get that Zah out. True. You speaking that deep knowledge. I can tell you have deep thoughts every day. Yeah, man, I definitely do, man. I'm telling you, bro. This shit runs through the bloodline, bro. This shit runs deep. Real talk. I ain't just wake up like this. I was born like this. Malik say, oil come from the earth. Yeah, it's a lot of natural things that we overlook. Okay, here's rating show. Message got restricted. The Platinum Owl say facts at Malik. Rad 21 say, yeah, I'm speaking from that sense. I know what you're talking about, Rad. I know what you're talking about. Rad, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Rex say, if you love your bloodline, don't have kids. Malik Carter said a lot of people don't know how to live off the grid. Yeah, and that's what I would say. Like, if you, because let's be real, y'all. I'm gonna say this before I go. You is allowed to live off the grid. Personally, I made a video about, I think a couple of days ago, or personally, I made a video a week ago about how I gave up my lease. I gave up my lease. I'm free. I ain't got no bills. I told my landlord I don't want to live there no more. A lot of y'all seen that video. What I'm looking into now is to live off the grid. All right? That's what I'm looking into now. And so, because I know what real freedom is. And I don't want to be tied into having hella bills and shit like that. But a lot of people don't understand you could live off the grid. It just might be in the middle of nowhere. If you're willing to live off the grid and raise your family, you can have all the kids you want. Because 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to be nobody but you, your wife, and your kids. But if you're willing to live under this reality or this matrix, I would say having kids might not be the best solution, because you can't control the laws and the things that's implemented by the government. Now, if you live off grid, it's nothing wrong with having kids. And I would say have all the kids you want if you're willing to live off grid. But most people not willing to live off the grid because they scared. They not close to the club. They not close to the gym. They don't have that convenience sake, or they don't have things at their disposal. They don't have the thing that they got used to, and just having things, right around them, like grocery stores, food marts, the bank. You got to travel miles and miles to get to the bank when you live off the grid. So that's why most people not willing to live off the grid. Now, for the ones that is willing to live off the grid, having a kid in this day and age, I would tell you, is nothing wrong with it. Do what you got to do, because you live off the grid, and you can teach your kids a lot of the things that your ancestors taught their kids, and it'll just be totally different opposed to you living in a city. You see what I'm saying? So I will give you that too as well. Living off the grid is the answer, bro. It's a good solution to escape this bullshit. Empress Mercedes say, my oldest is 12 years old. That's what's up. Yeah, my son 13. He about to be 14. Shit. The Platinum Owl say, school never let us tap into our creative side unless it's art. But other than that, they do teach you ish. They teach. Hold up. Let me read that over. School never let us tap into our creative side unless it's art. But other than that, they don't teach you ish you need. They teach you stuff they want you to do to become like them. Okay, that's true. That's true. It shouldn't be no such thing as school. It shouldn't be no such thing as school. Now, what it should be is, it should be certain camps that teach kids how to be productive from a natural perspective. We shouldn't be going along with being educated. Because from the moment you be educated, you get indoctrinated. Indoctrination and education goes hand in hand. Once you become educated, you become indoctrinated with another man's system, another man's ideologies, and another man's belief. So I think they should have or we should have, like our ancestors did, tribes or camps of things on how to teach the kids how to be productive from a natural standpoint, how to fish, how to hunt, um, how to swim, um, how to put out a fire, how to start a fire, how to build a house, how to build a tent, how to sailboat, or how to sail on a boat, how to do hair, how to cook, what else? How to provide light in the darkness, how to grow food, how to wash food. I think we should teach around those kind of methods of things when we talk about education or trying to teach the kids something. It should be around the list of things I just named. It shouldn't be nothing outside of the unnatural things. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck do I need to know about um uh uh um you know what's his name? Abraham Lincoln. What is that gonna do for me in my future? I think everything we should learn or teach the kids about, it should be about survival, um uh uh um how to instinctively live and bypass, challenges and things of that nature. And I think if we was to teach kids with the list of things that I just named, bro, we'd be far advanced, bro. I'm talking about that, and this was what the ancestors taught the kids in those days. It was about hunting. It was about starting a fire. It was about building shelter. It was about learning how to sailboat, learning how to swim, learning how to do hair, learning how to become more spiritual, learning astronomy, learning how to navigate throughout the stars. That's what they was teaching the children back then. Learning how to learning the habitats of the animals. Learning how to navigate throughout your environment. That's the kind of shit we need to get back to teaching the kids. It don't need to be about a bunch of bullshit that they can't use, or that really is not nothing that it's nothing useful. It's nothing like, if you look at it, 85 to 90% of the education that we is being taught, we have been taught, or the kids is currently getting taught, you don't use none of that education after you get out of school. The main things you learn how to use is how to spell, how to read, how to write, and how to do numbers. Those are the main things. Everything else, you really don't need. So I think we should get back to teaching kids how to do things more in a more natural sense. It should be surrounded around survival, how to build, around how to be structured, how to navigate throughout our environment. It should be things pertaining to that. It shouldn't be nothing outside of that. And of course, you want to school them on history, on who their ancestors was, or where they come from, or who they is spiritually, and who God is. Everything else is bullshit. You know what I mean? Straight up. Platinum say most people aren't used to the ancient ways of living because They've been too entertained for too long on social media, going to grocery stores and being on the phone or laptop or game. Yeah, yeah. They got comfortable and fell asleep in that rocking chair. The government rocked their ass to sleep. The Platinum Owl say, that's why I'm not finna teach my future kids about no social media. I agree. Malik say facts. Malik say how to live in a society and what is the resources you need to have a productive life. Yeah, that's it. The Platinum Owl say facts. The Platinum Owl say how to create sigils for spiritual protection, nature spirit, nature spirits and wildfire. Yeah. The Platinum Owl say facts. Raz say astronomy is the real death, or astronomy is the real deal, period. Yeah, once you learn that astronomy, the universe gonna open up to you. The Platinum Owl say sacred geometry. Yeah. Yep. And not only sacred geometry, but you know, another part of geometry is building, architecture. You know, real shit that the kids can use. You know what I mean? Like all that other shit about what's 3 times 3 and what's 3 plus 3. That don't mean nothing. Like what the fuck? Like, of course, math or mathematics have a certain role to play in society when you're dealing with the monetary system when it comes to money. But naturally, you already know how to count. Naturally, you already know how to read. Naturally, for the most part, you already know how to spell and how to write. You don't have to be taught those things. Those things that grows with you naturally. You feel what I'm saying? In geometry, it's a big part of it. Building, architecture, what we call masonry. Learning how to build blocks. All right? These is things we should be teaching the kids. Anything else is just indoctrination of another man's narrative or another man's game. That's all it is. But it's not for your benefit, it's not for my benefit, and it's not for our kids' benefit. All right? But yeah, sacred geometry is a good one. Malik say, yes, we have to teach our kids our history and not let them pollute their minds with somebody else's history. Yeah, man, we got to shake them before they begin to fall into that state of sleep or slumber. The Platinum Owl say also we can even discover lost languages of our ancestors through meditation. That's how I ended up realizing way more. Yeah, that's a good one. And we can do telepathy. We can you know, always learn how to connect through the mind, and we ain't even got to say nothing to each other. Our ancestors knew what each other was thinking. Like, we still do it right now today. But we don't do it as much as we used to do it. But sometimes you can tell what somebody is thinking. All right? It's little stuff like that we got to get back to practicing and doing. All right? The Platinum Owl say also we can even, okay, I read that one. Uriel say you still on? Yeah, I'm still on, Uriel. The Platinum Owl say ancient Kemetism. Yeah. The Platinum Owl say esotericism. Yeah, that esoteric knowledge. Malik say, I don't think we need algebra either. Nah, bro, nah. That shit is outdated. That's another man's game. That's another man's reality. Y'all got to think. We didn't raise our kids. Our ancestors didn't raise their kids using another man's culture, or another man's tradition. We had our own culture. We had our own traditional values. We had our own food, our own seasonings, that how we used to season our food. We had our own form of language. We had our own music. We had our own customs and designs and our own particular way of living and lifestyle. But right now, what we living under is another man's traditions. All right. Emperor say, have a good night. Thanks, peace, and love. We have supernatural powers. We just got to tap in. That's what it's all about. Rad 21 say in the Apocrypha, Enoch was teaching his grandson about the laws of God in astronomy so they can be prepared for the natural way of life and to live for God. Yeah, that's where we start. That's why our ancestors used to start with God and self-reflection. All right, and we move from there. Yuri will say, yeah, I hear you. I appreciate that. Well, that's the end of the live tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning and tapping into this message. God bless everybody. It's been an amazing live. This has been one for the ages. One for the ages. Remember, don't mistake artificial freedom for natural freedom. In order to truly be liberated, you have to make sacrifices and you have to do away and to give up, being comfortable if necessary, in order to experience true freedom. God bless y'all. Y'all stay strong. Keep God first. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. 100.